Mac.
Hi, and I'm Denise.
And welcome back to another edition of Urban Lifestyles. You know, it's here, winter's here. We just bypassed everything else in between and went straight to 30.
I just look at it as a preview, but it's still fall, and fall temps are going to come back. You just watch and see.
Yeah, I know we've been doing things to make ready. I know the guy came out who treats our yard and said they couldn't treat it because we haven't raked the leaves. And I have told them I rake leaves one time. That's it, because they keep falling. So I guess we're going to be a little late on our yard treatment. We've got a great show today. Some of the things we're going to be talking about is our visit to Washington, D.C. and got an opportunity to go to the African American Museum, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to go to my 50th high school class reunion. Going to show you some of the pictures from that. And then, of course, always we're here at what?
Middle of town cycling.
Middle of town cycling. So we've got some great tips for you, and Tyler's back with My Swaggy Wags. We'll take a quick break and back with more right after this.
I'm back at GQ Unlimited at 8th and Broadway, just in time for fall.
For any occasion or any age, GQ can complete your style from head to toe. Check out our suits by Tiglio, Ralph Lauren, and Michael Kors, shoes by Stacey Adams and Belvedere. Looking good is a sign of personal style. Let their professional staff give you the perfect assist.
Whether you're headed out to a game, dinner, or special occasion, GQ has it all. Stop in today.
It's gonna be the morning ride. Get the keys, let's go! Because you won't want to get out of the car when the Street's Morning Takeover is on the Ville's #1 for hip-hop.
Early in the morning.
96.5.
It's time to crack an egg.
Easy, any style egg works here.
Or smile.
Well done, this looks great.
Time to share a story.
I have a great way to start our discussion.
With old friends or new ones.
When you're a caregiver.
Time to breathe in.
And count luck. Good job.
Then let it all out. It's never been easier to connect, learn, and have fun.
Cheers.
So let's do it together. Come find us at aarp.org/.
So Denise, you had an opportunity to catch up with MSD, one of our great partners. So tell us what's going on.
Oh, this is very important, and we're going to be talking about the subject of fog. Not the misty stuff, but it's dealing with fats, oils, and grease. But let's just take a look. So it's time again for another MSD segment, providing safe, clean waterways. But today's topic you'll want to pay attention to. It's very important because we're going to be talking about fog. No, not the misty elements of fog you see in the morning air. This has to do with something very important that goes and starts within the kitchen. But I want to introduce you to Miss Candace Groves. Candace, welcome to Urban Lifestyle.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
And tell us about your position at MSD first, and then we're going to jump into what fog is.
Okay. I work in the Industrial Waste Department, and I am part of the fog program at MSD. And by fog, I mean fats, oils, and grease, just as you mentioned, not the foggy stuff. And I've been there for quite some time, somewhere 20 plus years.
Oh, wow. So let's start diving in about why it's so important. We're going to cover about fog, what it is. Let's start with that and the elements of why it's important. We're going to address this.
Okay. Fog stands for fats, oils, and grease, and those are normal household products that everyone has in their home. Things like oil, mayonnaise, any type of spice, sauces, butter, things of that nature, even icing have fat content.
Oh, wow. Okay, so normally I'm thinking about when people are cooking and things like that. After you use it, I'm thinking in regards to, you have to discard this. So what happens when we discard it, and there's a proper way and an improper way to discard it? So let's touch on that.
Okay, I'll speak about the improper ways to dispose of grease. Most folks think as a myth that it's okay if I pour it down the drain, run some hot water behind it, and just push it away. It's going to disappear. So that's contrary to the fact. Fats, oils, and grease will accumulate. Oh, wow. And it may cool and go further down your internal piping. But as it cools, it will turn into a hardened mass, and that can cause damage to your internal plumbing. Even worse, MSD, if it gets into our lines, it creates the same cause and effect where that fats, oils, and grease will harden. It also will cause backups and overflows in our system.
Oh, wow. So basically, I'm thinking somebody might say, well, as long as my piping is clear, I'm in the good green light area to go. Right. But now it sounds as if this is going to affect people further down, maybe in neighborhoods or even further going wide, like in certain districts of the city?
Correct. We're correct. It can. It can affect, as I said, MSD lines. It can also affect our waterways and our streams.
Okay, so we're going to be baking. Holidays are coming up and just regular. What do we want to do in regards to using these fats and things like that, and even icings on for desserts? I never knew about that. So what's the proper way that I want to discard of this then?
The proper way, we like to use a quick reminder to first, if you have fats, oils, and grease that has accumulated, first we want to can it. So you want to have a safe, heat-safe container that you put the grease in. Okay. Once you put the grease in the can, you want to sit it on your counter or somewhere, maybe outside, where it cools. Once it cools, then you want to discard it in your regular household trash. So you want to can it, cool it, and then trash it.
Okay. And just to be clear, are these the main, I would say, elements of fog, or outside you just named? Or there could be other ones that's not shown right here?
There are some, even 2% milk has some percentage of fats, oils, and grease in it. So you also want to try to not pour any type of solids down your sink. Some folks have garbage disposals, and those garbage disposals chop up food in even smaller particles that can also turn into a hardened mass in your internal plumbing.
And I know I'm thinking, I'm looking at this, but also just came to mind, what about salad dressings?
Salad dressings also has some oil content in it. So if you're a big salad eater and you're eating salad every night and you've got salad dressing on your plate, it's a good idea to just take a absorbent such as towel paper. Just take the towel paper, wipe the towel paper on the pan or the skillet or whatever you have, and just scrape it off into your internal.
And then with that in mind, I have to make this association. It makes me think of our own cardiovascular system. Right. If we keep the fats out so it doesn't accumulate and cut off, we can do the same thing for our homes and for our neighborhood and for this city. Because it makes me also think about, we're not retail like restaurants, and I'm sure there's a protocol in place for them to keep things safe and running, but we don't want to now do this for our homes and be responsible citizens so that we can continue to have safe, clean waterways.
That's a great comparison.
Well, Ms. Candace Groves, thank you so much for sharing this. And is there anything else that maybe somebody has a question about if they want to get additional information?
Yes, you can contact me. I work with the Industrial Waste Department. You can reach me at area code 502-540-6942.
You know, that was a great piece, and you were telling me all the time, wipe this skillet out, wipe that pan out. Don't put it down the drain. Even though you have a garbage disposal, put it in the trash can. So I will say live, you were correct.
Yes, so it's not about pouring it down. We don't want to pour. You even want to get the residue. So you want none of that because you don't want the problems on your own property, and you don't want it to go out into the community.
We'll take a quick break and back with more.
I'm back at GQ Unlimited at 8th and Broadway, just in time for fall.
For any occasion or any age, GQ can complete your style from head to toe. Check out our suits by Tiglio, Ralph Lauren, and Michael Kors, shoes by Stacey Adams and Belvedere. Looking good is a sign of personal style. Let their professional staff give you the perfect assist.
Whether you're headed out to a game, dinner, or special occasion, GQ has it all. Stop in today.
At LG&E and KU, we're always working hard to make your life a little easier. Because we know you've got your hands full. Our new mobile app gives you the power to check your account balance, review your payment history, and effortlessly pay your bill from anywhere, while making it easier than ever to report and track power outages. Download the app today to get the convenience of LG&E and KU at your fingertips.
We had an opportunity to go to D.C. for a great getaway vacation, and we definitely wanted to be the traditional tourist, which is taking some of the great museums that were there. And what was your favorite museum?
Of course, the reason for the trip was my bucket list was to go to the National African American History Museum.
And it was a fabulous experience. And one thing that I was really surprised about, but at the same time I guess not, but there were several representations from Kentucky there. Of course, Muhammad Ali, but Bell Hooks, who is from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, who is a world-renowned writer, a women's activist, just a lead in so many areas as it relates to women. And also they had Breonna Taylor mentioned in the museum as well. And I just thought it was just fantastic.
Yeah, the museum you start at the bottom floors and work your way up. And of course it deals with the transatlantic and how slavery came to be. Just every aspect, it was so meticulously done. The curators, the history, it was just phenomenal. We did 2 days and still didn't quite get everything in from things that I had forgotten about,
Yes.
you know, from, of course, civil rights. And it was sort of, we kind of lived through that period and then into Black Power. When I got to that part, I felt better because actually I was not feeling real good on the slavery part.
Another piece that was really powerful was the Emmett Till piece.
Yeah, the way they had that exhibit with the solemnity of it and the reverence and the whole display and the recordings that they had, and I just learned a lot. I mean, I even learned about the freedom riders and the Caucasians that came and helped in the 60s, and of course those in Mississippi, the movie Mississippi Burning that they found. But there was this Caucasian young lady in college and how she had gotten arrested and was and pledged Delta Sigma Theta because she went to Tupelo, and I didn't know that.
And another part of the museum I thought was very interesting was the futurism piece. And you know, you get in there and it's not only about music, but you're seeing pieces about the Black Panther and George Clinton and the mothership. But the museum has something for everyone. And then, of course, the restaurant, but whereas you're experiencing not only the food, but the food was representative of soul food from different areas.
Yeah, it was having soul food of that from the South, soul food in the East, soul food in the North, and soul food in the West. Because, for instance, maybe in the South they're eating, you know, pinto beans. When you go out west, it's eating black beans instead of fried chicken like in the South. Going west, it's like about brisket and things like that. Just the culture of where you were, and you know, things that I had forgotten about. You know, black midwives and just life, and then just our phenomenal results. How we entered the race and doing Hitler and Jesse Owens, and it was just overwhelming.
Yeah, and I think one thing, one word that kind of really describes the African American experience is resilience. So when you're there, not only the museum, of course, Martin Luther King, his new tribute is great as well. But there was just so much to see, and we became experts at riding the metro because every day we would get up with our passes, figure out our plan, and we were on the metro, and we were riding like champs. I'll give you props on that.
Yeah. Of course, I navigated it all.
I knew it. I knew that was coming. You know what? I think we're going to take a break and back with more right after this.
Than just getting from one place to another. It's healthy, social, good for the environment, and anyone can do it. We at Middletown love cycling and really love helping others discover a new passion. Stop in today and let our friendly, knowledgeable staff help you get started. We cater to beginners as well as experienced cyclists. We're a local business that cares about our community because we are a part of the community. Come in today and get on a bicycle that fits your needs and improve your lifestyle.
It's time to crack an egg.
Easy, any style egg works.
Or smile.
Well done, this is great.
Time to share a story.
A great way to start our discussion.
With old friends or new ones.
When you're a caregiver.
Time to breathe in.
And out loud. Good job.
Then let it all out. It's never been easier to connect, learn, and have fun.
Cheers.
So let's do it together. Come find us at aarp.org/
The morning ride. Let's go! Because you won't want to get out of the car when the Streets Morning Takeover is on the Bill's #1 for hip hop.
Early in the morning.
96.
It's that time again when we check in on Tyler with My Swaggy Wags. Take a look.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of My Swaggy Wag. Today we are talking about hair care for the winter. Yes, I said cut your hair, but it's really about caring for your hair and what that looks like. I have low porosity hair. I found out, I did a test, it's definitely low porosity. And low porosity has nothing to do with putting heat on it, damaging it, or even because my mama gave me a relaxer back in the day. It's genetic. So with my low porosity hair, it does not absorb water or products or conditioner or anything easily. As you can see here, I did a whole test. This video right here is being sped up. And even after all those rounds, I parted through my hair and it was still dry. I have low porosity hair. So here are some tips for people with low porosity hair to care for their hair in the winter and get the best results that they're looking for. In the wintertime, I tend to wear my hair straight. For me, it's easier. One, I don't want to have wet hair because I'm just cold in nature. But two, I'm a low maintenance person, so straight hair for me is a lot easier to manage. I also have about 5 different types of hair in my head. Example 1, the top is cotton. And then other areas are soft, other areas are more straight. It's just a blend. And then look at this. Wow. Some areas are so curly, we had to run that back. But this is all the same hair. It's, the beauty of it. These are the products that I use. I don't use a lot of products, just a light oil, a leave-in, and then I get to blow drying. Because I have low porosity hair, it takes a long time. I get hot, but once I get through it, I have my Shaka Khan vibes going on. Then I start with the flat iron, and this process probably takes about 30 minutes, I'll say, about 30 minutes. That's Charlton asking why it's taking so long. He's bald. He'll never understand. I like to make curls with my flat iron. I don't actually use a curling iron. I've probably been doing this since I was in college, but the flat iron makes my curl. And then voila, I'm done. And this style will last me 3 weeks. I just pin curl it. I don't wrap it, or I put it in a ponytail at night and take it down in the morning, and it's low maintenance and it's perfect for me for the winter. These are the products that I use. I have them linked in my Amazon store. The other thing I do in the wintertime is go and get my ends trimmed. As you can see, my hair is long, but my ends were very trash. So it's really good to keep your ends trimmed. One, because they're constantly in this dry weather and it's cold and it dries your hair out. And then also two, we're wearing a lot of heavier textures, rough sweaters. So it's better for your hair not to be up against that. Keep your ends trimmed every 8 to 10 weeks from the months of October through March, and you'll thank me later. See you next time.
Tyler does a great job. I have to give her props.
Yeah, I learned a lot, and basically she once said it used to be that the younger people emulate the older, and now the older get a drawing inspiration and creativity from the younger. But that's how you keep things fresh.
Yeah, it's almost like a cycle, right?
Yes, it is.
And speaking of cycle, we're in that cycle again where we're coming up on Thanksgiving. And I know everybody has Thanksgiving traditions. So if you've got some out there, we'd love for you to share them with us. But one of the things that we've been doing recently, probably the last 5-6 years or more, has been the fried turkey.
Yeah, I enjoy the fried turkey. It's moist. But then we have 2 turkeys because we have still the fried and then the bake, and along with, the dressing. And the thing about it is everybody has different traditions, but even when it comes to dressing, there's so many different versions of dressing,
Yeah. And, when we were at the museum in D.C., we met a couple, and they were talking about making macaroni. And she said she would not ever put Velveeta cheese in her macaroni. That was just like a cardinal sin, an absolute no.
Yeah, because people learn different things in regards. It's like well, what they want to say in the African American community, we're going to have macaroni and cheese snobs and definitely potato salad snobs,
Right.
because everybody doesn't make everything the same way. And I think that's what's interesting, back to the museum, that I learned, depending on what part of the country you were in, and basically what family traditions and cultures that you have determines the culinary, outcome of the kind of dishes of what we eat.
Yeah, and as you said, everybody has their own special take on what it takes to be a Thanksgiving dinner. And, for us now, there's no pork at all. We don't do that.
Definitely, because, and that's what the couple was saying, how, it used to be we're going to have some chitlins to go along with the ham, along with the turkey. And, it changes over time. But, like she was saying, I thought it was humorous that true potato salad is not what people wouldn't relish in it. She grew up where you go chop up the gherkin pickles, you're going to put some chopped up pimentos in her and all that. So, it's a difference. But I say as long as it's good,
And I think she was saying when she was a young kid, you knew you were going to be put on kitchen duty, and one of your jobs was going to be definitely getting your chop on.
That's it. That's it.
Well, you know what? We're going to take another break and back with more right after this.
My name is Shanika Winters. I am a manager for the Louisville Water Company. I'm a manager for distribution extensions. I'm originally from Lexington, Kentucky, and I've been living in Louisville for the past 15 years. And it was the type of place that I had wanted to work for since being in college because of the public works aspect. And so it's just the right opportunity for me when they contacted me. My typical day would be spent managing our support staff in the Engineering Distribution Extensions Department. So our typical workload includes receiving water main extension requests from developers and single property owners, and we help those developers with getting their water lines put in the ground. So what we do is we bring water to places where there has not been water before. So when it comes to the average property owner, what we do is we're helping them to get water. We bring the water mains to their house, and then that allows them to be eligible to get a meter and apply for service with the Louisville Water Company. It's very satisfying to be able to help that customer to get something that's so vital to their life. And just knowing that we walk them through the process and help them to achieve their goal and help them to be in safe drinking water, it's a very satisfying experience. And the most satisfying, I think, just the fact that, we're here to serve the public, and I think that our company does that very well. Well, it may not sound very relaxing, but one of my favorite things to do is to go road biking. And I also have a 4-year-old, and he's been joining us on our adventures, my husband and I. Well, I think the public speaks for itself when they say that we have some of the best tasting water in the country. As I mentioned, I've been here 15 years. It's been a rewarding experience. And I think that the resource that we give back to the community is one that they'll find satisfying.
Well, we're back again at Middle of Town Cycling. Had a great opportunity to catch up with Nira about a way you can stay fit all year long. Take a look. Well, we're back again at Middle of Town Cycling at the corner of Gardner Lane and Bardstown Road, right behind the bakery. And I'm back, of course, again with Nira. The seasons are changing, but that doesn't mean that you give up riding, that you give up being fit. We just kind of transition into different ways of doing things.
Correct. So a lot of people think, oh, it's winter time, I don't want to ride outside, but like they say, there's a solution for everything.
And you are the solution queen, so tell us what we're talking about today.
So we're talking specifically about bike trainers since the weather's getting cold and the temperatures are dipping. A lot of people stop riding outside. They want to stay indoors, but they still also want to continue training for the next season. Specifically for a lot of people who are either training for an Ironman next year or other races that they may have signed up during the year. So to solve that issue and to continue riding on your own bike inside, they come up with bike trainers.
Okay, so let's talk about this one that you have already here with a bike on it. So tell us about this type.
So this one is something that they just came out new last year that I feel is a big hit for, say, a family of, say, 2 cyclists who have 2 different kind of bikes and they don't want to necessarily change out parts and components to fit. Basically, it's pretty simple. You just unscrew this and you just roll your bike out. And then you can roll your bike in and you tighten the front wheel and you have rollers in the back and you just start riding.
Now that is very cool because I know the other ones a lot of time you have to take off the rear assembly and do some more things.
Yes, it's a little bit more complicated on certain other trainers where you have to take your rear wheel out and then put it on the trainer. Those are good. They serve a certain purpose. But for somebody who is just wanting to ride indoors and they have two different set of people riding it and they don't want to change the settings of one bike specifically because they need to unmount it and mount it to the trainer, this is a very economical solution.
Okay, so moving from that, we've got some other ones that are over here, so let's talk about them.
Yeah, so the basic ones are these ones. They're called the Ceres Fluid Trainers. The most important thing about trainers these days is like everything everything is becoming smart. So for example, this one, you can connect it to a third-party app, and these third-party apps can give you more live data or stats. Entry-level trainers like this, you just spin on them. The more you spin, the more resistance, but it's not a smart trainer unless you put a speed sensor on it, and it can at least give you the speed data, but you can't actually use it for the third-party app. And then we have something like these. These are all smart trainers and accessories. So what a smart trainer means is it has a Bluetooth connection in it, and it can then connect to a Bluetooth third-party app in which you can create an avatar and you can ride with other people indoors from your home, and you can still train. And you can still get power data and speed data and cadence data, and it trains you to get better for the next season.
I know anybody that's looking and is watching this, they're going to like, yes, I'd love to have one of those, but it's always, so what's the entry level in terms of price points?
So you're looking at about $200 for something like this. These are on super sale right now. They're normally $800. They're down to $599, so which I think is a great deal for a smart trainer. And then it varies between pricing. It goes all the way from $899 to up to $1,500. So.
And if someone wants to get one of these, they're going to come over here and see you, and you're going to show them how to go through the assembly and the whole bit. And
yeah, I think part of what you can find online is the fact that you can come in here, bring your bike, we can put your bike on the trainer, show how it's all done, set you up with a smart app, basically go over everything that you probably need to go over, and you can just ride it home.
Well, it's political season, and it's most important that you do what?
Get out and vote.
Right. Vote, vote, vote. It is so important. And also it's important to take your shots because you're not only taking care of yourself, you're taking care of people that are around you.
Mm-hmm. But I would say, I'm going to go back to vote because that's taking care of you and your community. But you have to be intelligent about the platforms and make it meaningful to cast your vote on in-depth information, not just something superficial or the way somebody looks, but really look deep in how the people you want to vote for, how they're going to represent you and represent you best, your life best, and that of your community.
And you know what? I think that's our show.
Ooh, and that's our time.
And catch us back here next time. And remember again to vote and take the shot. Bye-bye.
Bye.